Welcome to FWI's weekly news review. Coming up, a nitrate vulnerable zones derogation is welcome news for Britain's livestock farmers. Details start to emerge for a voluntary replacement to set aside. Land Rover secures a loan for its all-new baby Range Rover, and a team-building programme for government vets. Farming unions have welcomed an EU decision to grant farmers in Britain a derogation from strict nitrogen limits under the Nitrate Vulnerable Zones legislation. The derogation raises the limit of nitrogen from animal manures from 170 to 250 kilograms a hectare, but farmers will need to apply annually to the Environment Agency to qualify. Applications will be judged against a number of key criteria, including the area of grassland on the farm, cropping plans, and up-to-date soil analyses. The decision, which was not widely expected, will come as a significant relief to dairy farmers who were considering having to reduce animal numbers or find extra land to stay within the law. Details have started to emerge about a voluntary set of measures aimed at staving off a compulsory replacement for set-aside. Last week, DEFRA announced it was considering two compulsory options to retain the environmental benefits of set-aside, but was leaving the door open for farm leaders to persuade it that a voluntary approach could achieve its objectives instead. The National Farmers Union, working with the Country Land and Business Association, says it wants to introduce farm environmental action plans aimed at identifying and promoting wildlife-friendly practices on the farm. Exact targets for the voluntary scheme are yet to be finalised, but DEFRA is known to want to increase the uptake of agri-environment schemes to 70% of available farmland by March 2011. Meanwhile, as proposals are being worked up, it seems the story has become a hot topic of debate on our forums on FWI Space, as our community editor Isabel Davis reports.
DEFRA's consultation paper is asking farmers to choose between two options. There's option A, which is the compulsory route. This is where farmers would have to have set aside or leave more winter stubbles in order to get their single farm payment. Then there's option B. This is about adopting voluntary measures. This is the one that farm leaders are urging producers to get behind. From what we're seeing on the forums and in emails, some farmers would like to see more evidence to justify the proposals. With 2 metre or 6 metre strips in most fields now uncultivated, it seems to me enough land has already been taken out of production for the use of wildlife, says Hay Trader. Has DEFRA ever taken the trouble to calculate the number of acres that environmental strips come to? Crayman says, the sooner DEFRA and the RSPB come out of denial that the raptor effect on farmland birds is decreasing numbers of ground and hedge nesting birds, the sooner we will have more of the same. Other producers are saying that getting behind the voluntary proposals is a good way to keep the public on side. Farmers in England claim about £2 billion in single farm payments. This is taxpayers' money, and the ask here, in return for that £2 billion, is not great, says Yonups. Having environmental measures linked to the single farm payment does mean it should be easier to justify receipt of the single farm payments, adds Moore too. If you've got a view, particularly on what voluntary measures could be adopted, join the debate at fwi.co.uk/SA consultation.
Now, we might be in a recession, but it seems Land Rover is gearing up for better times thanks to a £27 million loan from the government, which will be used to build an all-new baby Range Rover. Based on its LRX concept model, the car will be the smallest, lightest and most efficient the company has ever built. Although it still has to go through a number of development approvals before getting the final go-ahead, Land Rover has confirmed the new car will be an addition to the luxury Range Rover family of cars. The grant offer is being made under the government's Grant for Business Investment scheme and is an important contribution towards the overall £400 million cost of the project. And finally, government vets are quite literally banging the drum in the fight against bovine tuberculosis. Intrigued? Well, Tim Relf has more.
Training courses are a good thing. So, you might think it makes perfect sense to send vets, the guys in the front line of the battle against diseases like TB, on them. Well, that rather depends on what type of course we're talking about. It's come to light this week that government vets are being sent on team building exercises that include playing games and, get this, messing around with drums. One exasperated vet, reduced to tears, rang FW claiming she'd expected the training to be focused on the latest strategy for tackling bovine TB. Instead, she found herself playing games, mucking about and banging drums. A spokesman for Animal Health defended the training, claiming the course helped vets focus on effective teamwork in a fun and interesting way. Sounds like something David Brent might have dreamed up in the office to me. Let us know what you think at fwi.co.uk/forums.
Thanks, Tim. Well, that's it for this week. You can catch up on all the latest news in the agriculture sector on fwi.co.uk, including a call for a rise in farm wages, a jump in tractor sales, and the NFU's plans for a new vice president after the shock resignation of Paul Temple last week. Goodbye.